4. Hey, what's up, everybody? We are back with Biz Talk, the show, and this is a show it is. And we like to be bringing you folks, real people in the real trenches of entrepreneurship. Did I say that right? Being an entrepreneur and being a business. And today I have two folks that are absolutely in the trenches, building their business. Renu Thomas, I said it right, and John Roth. And they have a business called ThouroCare, which I know nothing about. I didn't study it, so you'll forgive me, but I'm going to have you teach us a little bit about your business. So tell us about your business.
ThouroCare is a concierge service for seniors and their families to help find local resources, answer questions, get advocacy for non-medical services. Okay,
so non-medical services being like?
Transportation.
Home health care.
Grab bars in the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
Things that people need to be able to age safely in their home. Things that people find out they need after the crisis.
Yeah, right. Always after the crisis.
And that's why we started ThouroCare.
Right, and so, I mean, I think you have a really niche space there, right? Because most of the time the crisis hits. And then everybody's like, medical.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because that's where our brains go. Immediately medical, and we don't think about all those other little things. Like, so when you say concierge service, healthcare, and I know I'm jumping way ahead here in some questions, but you just sparked some interest. We're talking about, let's say you have somebody that's relatively able enough, let's say cognizant enough, for argument's sake. Do you help them get to the hair salon? You could arrange for them to have service to get to the hair salon, the nail salon, stuff like that. Is that where we're looking, like some of the simple pleasures in life?
Absolutely. We want people to be able to enjoy and maintain their lifestyle.
Right.
But if they have difficulty driving, we find the resources so they can get to the hair appointment or supermarket, whatever they need.
And we're also helping the family member,
right,
because it also ends up being that caregiver is that spouse, the children who may not live nearby, and that was the case with us. And how do you make sure your parents are safe? They may have a chronic condition, or they just may have lost their ability to drive due to normal aging.
Gotcha. Like even vision. Some people they're fine, but then they can't drive anymore because they can't see anymore very well. So, again, I want to talk a little bit more about the business, but I want to ask, what sparked this drive to create this?
It was after my dad got diagnosed with Parkinson's.
Okay.
That was when suddenly my family was faced with my dad has his first fall. He's coming back from the hospital, and how do you find the home health care person? How do you get transportation when one of us isn't around? How do we get grab bars put in? And all of that. You're looking on the internet, you're asking everyone and anyone you know, your clergy, your doctor, your friends, saying, where do I go? And it's so fragmented, and we're like, if we're going through this,
everyone's going through that. Yeah, okay. So it's definitely very personal. And it's become a passion project, I imagine.
Very much so.
We took a year and went to Harvard University. They have a program called Advanced Leadership Initiative.
Okay.
And it's for people in their second half of life who are looking to do a passion project, social impact project.
Okay.
We had access to the entire university, all the professors, where we were able to really take this hypothesis, is it a viable business, is the market big enough? And we proved it out there, and then we took it live.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And again, I'm going to probably jump back to a little bit about what you do, but I'll get into some of the other things that you're facing. But again, I think it's like really important what you're offering, because I don't think we think about that at all. I mean, you have that direct experience, and all these questions pop up. So, it's you're a service-based business, and there's clearly a need, and you're here in Jersey. But there's clearly a need everywhere for the service that you provide, right? So again, you're a startup, right? How long?
Since January.
So you're in your freshman year.
Yep.
So you're a startup, so we're not going to push you out of New Jersey too quick, right? But you cover all of New Jersey, I imagine?
We do. The benefit of what we do is, so when we're looking and finding resources, we go to that area we have clients. So we have clients in Southern California, we have clients in Texas, we have clients in New York, Pennsylvania.
So you're national. Yeah, national
And
service.
to step back a little, and we don't want to confuse things, but we actually did the work for 18 months.
Okay.
We actually worked on Long Beach Island. We had a pilot where we drove. We answered the
Oh, wow.
phones. We did the grocery shopping
So-
because we needed to understand what was required.
Right, yeah.
That's when we found getting those questions answered and finding those local resources was more impactful than us doing the work, and we could have greater impact.
So, I mean, but that's just, being boots on the ground is essential to not just your, leadership skills and when you're handling people, but just the mere fact that, operationally, you're not that removed person, you know what I mean? Like, you know what it takes in the rain, in the snow, you get it. And then your own personal experience brings that forth too. I mean, I think a lot of successful businesses ultimately are derived from experience and passion. I don't think I'll never know how to run a auto repair shop. I don't have a love for it, right? So I'd be the worst at it. It'd be under in 3 months. And that's how I genuinely feel. But I mean, you guys have that experience and that direct experience, not just the personal, but the action of doing the job, which I think is really important, especially to a potential client. You're not just a paper pusher. I call some people are cubicle dwellers. Let's be real, right? You're not that. And that's really important. And I mean, was that a value you wanted to bring into this, that you wanted that deeper, experience on that? Yeah.
Absolutely. Right? You need to have that to understand what people are going through, right? So the empathy of how people are facing the issues that coming out of the crisis, or just anticipating something that's going on, right? So mom or dad's getting older, right? What are we going to do? Because the average is 300 miles away, most people live from their parents.
Yeah.
So having a local resource and someone who can find local resources is really key.
And do you pull out of the local communities to help you, so you have access points in the differences, so you could call on people who are familiar with the community? You're not calling an Uber driver. Right. No DoorDash.
We can help someone if that's what they'd like, but
you're not relying on.
Realize this is not something that is an app. This is a personal relationship building. You earn that trust.
Right.
And even during the pilot, and even with the business now, we give our clients a magnet with our phone number, because I don't know, my mom has magnets all over her refrigerator. That's how she remembers numbers and appointments. So it's that personal touch.
Right. And so what are some of the obstacles you're currently facing that are tough to, let's be real, tough to overcome, or tough to break through, barriers or weaknesses?
Well, so we have clients that come directly to us, right? But what we're doing is we're partnering with entities like doctors' offices, wealth managers, right, attorneys, who have seniors as their client base, who they can use us as a referral when they get the question of, how do I find, I have this Medicare question.
Right.
And they're not prepared to answer it, so, we kind of close that circle of care. It's building that partnership up is the hurdle that we're having, right? So accessing the right people to kind of work with in that market.
We're a startup.
Yeah, you're a startup. But I mean, it's pretty interesting that even as a startup, you've got your footprint already. You're putting your pins nationally. because there's clearly a demand for the service. So any major obstacles you're either in front of right now, they're in front of you that you're trying to push past, or that you've just recently overcome? Maybe how'd you overcome it?
I mean, I think the big one is finding that one partner who believes in this as much as we do.
Right.
And wants to partner with us, because that way we can help their senior community, or that employer who understands how much an impact caregiving is giving their employers, because we want to be able to offer ThouroCare as an employee or retired benefit.
Right.
So it's getting that first major partner. We've got clients through word of mouth because people hear about us through their friends or family, but it's getting that first foot in the door for a larger impact.
Sure. So you guys hear that? Hey, not-for-profits, hospitals, doctors, VCs, listen, you venture capitalists, this might be something you want to get into. This is a real thing. This is not going away. We are all getting older. We are all getting hurt more often. Things aren't healing as regular. I have to wear glasses now. Who knows what's next? But this is the type of thing this is something that is, you're fulfilling a need. It's a real need. It's not a manufactured need.
10,000 baby boomers turn 65 every day in the U.S.
Yeah.
And 70% of them need some sort of assistance.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Listen, I'm lucky at my age. I'm not going to disclose it. But, I'm still going strong with the exception of the eyes and taking a little longer to heal. But, there's going to come a time where I'm going to need help. Everybody's going to need a little help. You know what I mean? In one fashion. And I think the medical community is well fed right now in the medical community. Yeah. It's these things that are really important, because I think part of growing older is we all hate losing our independence. Yep. And I think you're helping to probably extend some of that independence through this non-traditional or non-medical framework. And you said it yourself, it's the connection with family. Right? It's you become part of the family, your people become part of the family, and that's through your own experiences.
The interesting thing is, even though we become a trusted resource to family, to the individual and the family members, we're still a third-party entity. So when you think about asking your father or your mother how things are going, most of the times they'll tell their children, everything's fine, right? Don't want to be a burden,
right?
All that. They'll tell a third party, you know what, I've been having back problems.
Yeah, you're right.
And so what part of our service is, we report that back to the family. Mm. So they have a conversation. They know that mom and dad are feeling this way. So in general conversation, they can say, how you feeling, and know that their back aches.
So I wish I had more time for us to really dive even deeper into some of the service, because I know there's people out there that are going to click in with that. But speaking of clicking, where can they find you on the web?
www.ThouroCare.com.
Okay, and that'll be on the screen. All right, and is there a phone number they can dial or an email address?
888-871-2010 or info@ThouroCare.com.
Okay, great. And again, your names?
John Roth.
Renu Thomas.
Renu, see, I made her say it this time. But I appreciate you guys talking a little bit with me about it and getting the information out there to everybody. I think that what you have is absolutely, a much needed service, even a product in its own right. We could probably package these up and get people to buy packages in the store for services, right? That's the future. But you're definitely something that we need, and I really appreciate what you guys are doing, and thank you for having the passion to do it. And you guys, listen, find a partner. Here's one. If you're in the medical space, talk to these folks, reach out to them at the phone number. They're looking to grow and expand, and they're not a willy-nilly small business. They're serious about it. So you guys looking for a partner in your area, join these folks, have that conversation. You want to go out there and get their business to grow and your business to grow, because the rule is entrepreneurs make shit happen. So go out there and make shit happen.